In this chapter, I'd like to focus on the parasympathetic nervous system and the vagus nerve specifically. So what is it? Well, basically speaking, the nervous system can be divided into, this is a very simplified version of this, might I say, but it can be divided into, the autonomic nervous system can be divided into kind of two components. One is the sympathetic nervous system, the sort of on switch, and the parasympathetic nervous system off switch. It's a very simplistic way of looking at it. However, it just gives us a little bit of a starting point for understanding the effect of stress on our body. So the vagus nerve is a nerve that is like a big telecommunication fiber wire. It's our wireless network. Well, it's not wireless. It has the nerve. So it's the largest nerve in the body. It is, I'm going to take some of these details from Wikipedia, which I'll put in the transcript. I'll put the link below. The vagus nerve is also known as the 10th cranial nerve, which means that it ends up in the brain. It's the longest nerve of the autonomic nervous system in the human body and has both sensory and motor fibers, which means that it is able to receive sensory input and also motor input. Upon leaving the brain, it passes through the jugular foramen in the neck, passes around the carotid artery. After the brain, it runs down and passes through the carotid sheath and the internal carotid artery in the neck. So it supplies the eyes, the ears, the jaw, the mouth, the tongue, the neck, the chest, the abdomen, abdominal organs, reaching all the way down to the colon. So as you can see, that would be a very long nerve. And what they found is that 80% of the fibers of this nerve are responsible for sending messages upwards to the brain. So only 20% of the messages go down from the brain to all these parts of the body. 80% of the fibers are what they call efferent, which means they go back up to the brain rather than away from the brain. So that means 80% of the information traveling up this nerve is from places like the gut. Like I say, as far down as the colon, the gut, the heart, the throat, the mouth, the jaw, the ears, our voice also. So this has huge implications for managing stress in that it's not all in our head, it's in our body. We have the capacity to tap into these areas of our body to affect what is happening in our brain and affect what is happening in our nervous systems. It also supplies some of the skeletal muscles, so some of the muscles, motor muscles of the jaw, the larynx, so for speech. It is responsible for our heart rate regulation, gastrointestinal peristalsis, so the action of digestion, sweating, muscle movements of the mouth, including the speech, the ear, cardiac effects, urogenital and hormonal effects. So activation of the vagus nerve, it has been found here during emotional stress, can lead to a drop in cardiac output and also a loss of bladder control. So this has huge ramifications for our digestive well-being, our well-being of our urogenital system, our cardiac system, our respiratory system, hormonal system. So by influencing the vagus nerve, we can positively influence all of those systems. So that's really good news. And it's really good news with regards to yoga because a lot of the techniques we are now seeing are being backed up by science. And it's just so exciting that we actually have this research to back up some of these ancient techniques.